Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatadeshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Premapradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaudakashe Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Saptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishbhanusate Devi Pranamami Hare Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are in the 11th chapter, the last part of it now, and we will cover up the finish of the 11th chapter today. Um, Yesterday we had read the purport of the 11.48, but have not discussed much. I just want to say something. I will recite once more and read the translation, and then I'll just, we'll discuss something over here. So this is the verse 11.48. Yeah. Na vedayagne ध्यानेन दानेन न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुर्गये एवं रूपं शक्य अहं नृलोके द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर. Just read the translation.
O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world.
So Krishna, actually over here, as I said to you yesterday, tests in Krishna consciousness will happen. And this is a test which is put by the Lord, for Arjuna. And he is saying, see, what form I'm showing you, it can't be seen by anybody in this world. Don't think by Veda Gyan, by somebody getting Veda Gyan, Ved अध्ययन करने से उसको मिल जाएगा, यज्ञ करने से मिल जाएगा, वैदिक यज्ञ करने से मिल जाएगा, दान करने से मिल जाएगा, कोई भी चैरिटी करने, क्रिया भी, कोई पायस एक्टिविटी, कोई तपस्या करने से मिल जाएगा, ये नहीं नहीं मिलने वाला. एवं रूप साक्य हम निर्लोके द्रष्टुम तद अन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा. अरे but I'm showing you this form. This form is so great. No, and you are saying that no, you want to see my another form, my 400 form or 200 form. Why? So no, that is how actually Krishna is putting over here that this form is not visible to normal people. I am giving you. But why you are not? So Prabhupada writes a purport where Prabhupada mentions over here to those who are atheists, who do not believe in Vishnu or who recognize only the impersonal part of Krishna, impersonal part of Krishna as a supreme cannot have the divine vision. It is not possible to decry Krishna at the same time have the divine vision. So Prabhupada is saying even impersonalist people, they may say that we worship Vishnu, but they can't see Vishnu because they are not devotees. Even to see the Vishnu, one has to be a devotee. You know? That's what Krishna is also saying. So devotees, however, who are actually in a divine nature and who has divine vision, are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. You know, Arjuna is desiring to see the 400 form of Krishna as Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of the universal form. So over here, Prabhupada explains about that how that no amount of study or charity or tapasya or anything can make allow anybody to see my form, this form. That's what he says. And there are many people who create and all those Prabhupada says over here. So basically it's a test which is, Krishna is putting over Arjuna to see whether actually is he, actually how much is his intensity of his love. Does he really loves me truly, or he's much more attracted to my, to my greatness in these terms. So that's how he is, he's trying to check. So the Krishna is glorifying his universal form by himself over here. So this is so this form, because Krishna again is this form which I am showing you is rarely seen. You can't see by any way. Therefore, considering this, you had attained something which is not attainable by others. So fix your mind on this form, which is difficult to see for everyone, a form which is certainly the Lord. So having seen that form, you should forget about the human form your desire that you are desiring to see now. This is a form which is very special form. Krishna is saying, इसी में खुश रहो. कितना है ये फॉर्म, ये आपको नहीं दिखता. क्या तू 200 फॉर्म के पीछे पड़े हो, तो सबको दिखता है ना. मैं सबके सामने घूमता हूँ, बट ये किसी को देखा देखा है क्या, किसी ने देखा. So you should be happy. So you know, so that's what he is saying. I am visible to you because you have devotion, and to Devatas because they have also some devotion. Because of your devotion, they have been able to actually. So Krishna is saying that, however, this is no, that you be happy with this. This is very special form which I am showing you right now. If so, now is a huge test which Krishna is taking, of Arjuna now in one way. So let's see what he says in the next verse. No, actually, first, how many of you are able to understand the test is going on, which I'm trying to tell of Arjun? They're able to understand the test is that Krishna is testing Arjun or not. ना, आप लोगों को समझ में नहीं आ रहे हैं, राइट ना? अरे हाँ ना, कुछ तो बोलो. यू आर नॉट डेफ एंड ब्लाइंड एंड डम. बोलो बाबा, कुछ तो बोलो, समझ में आ रहा है नहीं, नहीं यार, एक्सप्लेन ना. ओके, समझ गए. नहीं समझ में आ रहा. सो simple it is, because he is saying, see, you are after this two form, 200 form, you should know this form is greater. And I'm showing you, because not everybody can see this form. I have given you a special eye, divine eye, to see this form. And why I have shown you, why I have given you, because you have devotion for me. And 200 form is seen by many people. you know Even on the battlefield, so many people are seeing. But to his universal form, anybody I'm showing? No, I'm not showing to anybody. So be happy. Be happy with this form. You know. So he wants to test actually how much really he loves me in terms of my 200 form. What is how much Arjuna actually has is in true love, uh, like no like if just for an example, uh, if a boy is there and his father is a very big man, so the boy is in connection with his father just because he is father. But one day he sees his father very much glorious, very big things, that he's a big businessman or a very big bureaucrat. So now, now the father is asking, so do you wish to be with me in my office, or do you wish to me see in office such great things are there? You have to just you see, you have to just sit with me now, where everything will be done, or you want to be with me in your home. Over there, I'm just a normal man. So which one you wish to be, wish to have, where you wish to be. So if your child says that I wish to be in in your office only, this means actually he is more attracted towards. towards the father in terms of his greatness. Actually, he doesn't have much of a love towards the father. Uh, but naturally, a child will never, opt for that. He will say, "God, over there where I can actually be with you in a normal way. May not be. I don't need such grandness." That's how the devotees of the Lord are. That is why, amazing is this. Although such glories they sing, but in Vrindavan, Krishna actually just lives just like a normal cowherd boy, and he wears one mala, right? He doesn't wear. It's never been said that he is wearing kirit, helmets, crowns. No, he doesn't wear it because over there the devotees are attracted, towards him, not towards his opulence. So this is the test which is Krishna is actually is having of Arjun. Which way you are more attracted to? So anyhow, but everyone knows that who will win Arjuna will win it over. He will become successful in this test. Next Krishna says, Mate vyatha ma cha mate vyatha ma cha vimura bhavo drishtva rupam ghoram idrim amedam Vyapetadhikritam manah punastvam tad.
Translation: You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My duty, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire.
So, just wait, bro, before you read the, you
Yes.
know, now Krishna actually in that previous verse was saying, my form is this is where you should be happy with. Now he's saying, okay, I'll show you my 200 form. Because Arjun is saying, oh Supreme Lord, why don't you understand me? You are forcibly giving me something which I do not want. Seeing this form of yours, my limbs are distressed, my mind is pained. Constantly I am fainting. Let me offer my respects again to this majestic form from far away. I'll never again pray to see that form. Forgive me, forgive me. Show me that human form, the moon-like face, which is covered in the showers of nectar, to sweetest of smiles. Please show that to me. And then, so this is this is the in-between dialogue between the 48 and 49th verse, which is happening, which is Arjuna is speaking. And then Krishna is responding over here in the 49th shloka. Okay, you have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible future of mine. Let be finished. Okay, you passed the test. My devotee, be free again. My dear devotee. No, uh, he is saying that to Arjuna, my devotee. Yeah, he's saying, my devotee, be free again from all disturbance. With a peaceful mind, now you see the form you desire. So now Krishna has understood that my devotee is fixed up devotee. He is not a devotee of my opulence. He is a devotee of my sweetness, the me, not just my opulence. Read the purport. Acha, acha. Oh, wait. I'll show you the screen. Yes.
But in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona, his worshipable grandfather and master. But Krishna said that he not be afraid of killing his grandfather. When the sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly of the Kurus, Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty they should be killed. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna just to show him that these people were already killed for their unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjun because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of the universal form was shown. Now Arjun wanted to see the four-armed form, and Krishna showed him. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, for it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. Either a devotee wants to offer his respectful worshipful feelings, or he wants to see the two-handed Krishna form so that he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah, either he is interested in the four-handed form of the Lord, which he can worship it respectfully, or a two-handed form where he can reciprocate his loving service to with the Lord. So Prabhupada writes in the last, he's not interested in the universal form of the Lord. A devotee, because why a devotee is not interested in the universal form of the Lord? When he would like to share something, why he is not so interested? Why Prabhupada again and again is saying he's not interested in the universal form of the Lord, a
Because
devotee.
universal form doesn't allows loving feeling to reciprocate with the Lord, Prabhuji.
Okay. But I probably, universal form, we can go and offer some present of bhoga to him. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Something more I like to hear, especially from those whose videos are off. I don't know why or what your videos are off. So yeah, Sanket Prabhu, Naresh Prabhu, Satyanarayan Prabhu, you all are there with me. I like to hear from something from your lotus-like mouth, some answers.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, maybe personally, what I think one of the reasons might be uh, as a devotee loves the personified form of the Lord and not the Aishwarya Bhava or the form where devotee loves the qualities. Now, as we have also discussed, Arjuna has asked lordships, please show the darshan in understanding that so that common people can also accept him as supreme personality of Lordhead. But in the case of devotees, it is not required because devotees is not bounded by the opulences or energies of the Lord. He loves the personal form of the Lord. That's why the devotee doesn't seek, maybe.
Okay, very good. Anybody else like to add something? Say something more?
Prabhuji, can we say that devotee relate more with the two-handed form of Lord? It is easy to relate with the two-handed form of Lord rather than universal form.
Okay, yeah, right. That's truth. We can relate more to the human-like form than the something. Yeah, right. Some more reasons from others. Why Prabhupada is saying again and again? Huh?
Prabhuji, because the universal form cannot be made into son or lover or friend. Maybe devotees will
Huh?
not make these relationships with universal form.
Yeah, but somebody may ask, see, anyhow, we are a sadhakas. We are not allowed. We don't think in that way because we are not in that platform. तो क्या दिक्कत है विश्व रूप को ही विश्व रूप को ही करें anyhow we are supposed to know the greatness of the Lord before we hear the sweetness of the Lord.
Prabhuji, it is a temporary form and it does not exist eternally.
That's the reason. You know, that's the reason. It's a temporary form. It's not an eternal form. You know, it is not something which is no which is ever. There is no Vaikuntha Lok, no Golok Vrindavan for Vishnu. We can't go anywhere. And Prabhupada is saying that even you can't see Vishwarup from here also if you're not a devotee. So no, we don't worship. As a sadhaka also we don't worship it because it's not eternal. It's not eternal form. You know, although Krishna is saying that this my form which I am showing you, Arjuna, is because is out of my internal energy, not my external energy. So it is not a Maya's display, but actually that form does not exist. You know, so so he is showing his no he is showing his internal energy, his inner because the Maya is not showing this form. Krishna only is showing this form. So it is coming from his internal energy only, not from the external energy. But that is a material form. Although he's saying it's divine, because there is no divinity over the in the sense that no divinity in the sense of that it is not eternal, and neither some spiritual things are shown, only matter is shown. So devotee, a sadhaka also actually does not worship this universal form because it's temporary. Uh, it's not a form which actually exists. So as a sadhaka also, and surely about a personality like Arjun, who is actually in relationship with the Lord, surely he won't, because you can't have any of the five relationships with the universal form. And he is temporary. So your relationship will also be temporary then. So 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 a devotee never worships the Vishwarup, you know, because he is after the spiritual form of the Lord, you know, which is actually such an Ananda Vigraha. You know, he is not after this form of the Lord, which is not eternal and is a material representation, you know, of his, although coming from his internal energy. So, so the devotee actually, you know, is not interested. That's why Prabhupada is again and again mentioning that a devotee is not so interested in such a form. So over here, either a devotee wants to offer his respectful, worshipful feelings to the 400 form, or he wants to see 200 form of Krishna in a loving service. See, when you worship, you know, actually when you go to be simple, when you go to a Kali's temple, you see the Kali is, you know, with multiple hands. She is holding different weapon in her multiple hands. She is holding different weapons and killing the demons. Uh, there is no seva bhavana which arises in the heart of a devotee, of a person. And the more what happens, oh, you are great, you are great, you are great, that much. Uh, not not actually loving seva bhavana is not aroused. But when somebody sees Krishna's 200 form or Narayan's, you know, form, 400 form, the pleasant form, so sweet form, immediately what happens? A devotee-minded person, in his heart, a loving, you know, a genuine spirit of service arises to render some service to the deity. Uh, so that's how it is that people in this world actually, that is why the deities they come. Why the Lord appears as a deity form to attract the people, you know, towards themselves, so that they're attracted to serve them, and by beginning of their service, they're beginning of their devotional. That's the beginning of their devotional life. So over here, only one reason why Krishna showed this form to Arjun and through Arjun many other people is that Arjuna asked. And Krishna wanted to also prove ahead proper will, right? His supremacy. And to also, Prabhupada is in this purport is writing to show Arjuna that all these fellows will be died, will already killed. I know you can't do such horrible action of killing, you know, your people. You are devotee, you're soft-hearted. But you know it, they are already killed. Now you just become a Nimitta Matra and take the credit and go ahead. So now, when the purpose of revelation universal is shown is now finished, now Arjuna wants to see the four-armed form, and Krishna shows him. Because the devotee is actually not interested in any way in these Vishwarup forms. So let it be finished, and now Krishna is showing him his 400 and eventually a 200 form of the Lord of his own self. Then Sanjay Uvacha. Do any questions?
Prabhuji, yesterday you told that other demigods were also able to see the universal form of Lord because they were devotees. Means Lord has given them also divine vision because of them being devotees. So Prabhuji, was the other members of Mahabharat war Are on the side of Kauravas, were they able to see the universal form
No,
of Lord? They were not seeing.
no,
But Sanjay was able to see because Sanjay was a devotee. Right, Praji?
no. Actually, Sanjay was given an eye special by Vyasa. That's why. So because of Vyasa Prasad, he was able to.
Hmm. And Praji, on the side
No,
of Kauravas, if somebody is a devotee.
no, nobody is
So,
able to see. And that also Krishna says, "Oh, why demigods are able to see? Because Krishna wants them to be the, what was the reason?
proof of future. Sakshi.
Sakshi of that. That's the only reason Krishna is allowing him to see. But whole display of the universal form is for Arjuna, for nobody else. That's very clear. Okay. Anybody else, bro? Okay. Next. Sanjay Vacha. इति अर्जुनं वसुदेवस्तथोव उक्त्वा स्वकां रूपं दर्शयन् आस भूयः आस च भीतम् एनं भूत्वा पुनः सौम्य वपुर्महात्मा.
Translation. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjun, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging thus fearful Arjuna. Purport. When Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva in Devaki, he first of all appeared as four-armed Narayan. But when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjun was not interested in seeing four-handed form. But since Arjun asked to see the four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again and then showed himself in his two-handed form. The word Saumya Vapuhu is very significant. Saumya Vapuhu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjun, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita 5.38, it is said, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, only a person whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of love can see the beautiful form of Shri Krishna.
Yes. So now Sanjay is saying to Dhritarashtra, now, again being requested by Arjun, Krishna is showing him his 400 form, and at last showed his two-armed form. Both, now has been said. So, iti Arjuna Vasudeva Tato Uktva. Nana. So Arjun ke कहने पे उक्त्वा, by speaking, he showed Vasudeva Krishna forms. Swakam Rupam. Darshayam Asabhuya. Then he says, see, there's two roops which has been mentioned in this word, in this say particular. Swakam Rupam and Samya Vapur. Swakam Rupam refers to the four-handed form, and then Bhutva Punah Saumya Vapur Mahatma is a two-handed form. So Swakam Rupam is about, Swakam Rupam is worshipable form, whatever with the Kamna which people want to worship. But Saumya Vapur is his two-handed form. So here in word to word, if you see, Prabhupada also writes about Saumya Vapu is a beautiful form, and Swakam, his own form, his own form in the sense of his 400 form. So Arjuna displayed his 400 form and at last showed his 200 form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. So and so he showed the way he showed it to the Devaki and Vasudev in the jail. First is 400, then is 200. By their request, that's what Krishna is showing over here, and trying to now pacify his devotee Arjuna, who is much fearful of seeing this ghastly universal form, and he's fearful in a different way. No, I already told you, his fear is not like a lion, like a rat's fear by seeing the cat. No, his fear is majority is like of a he's very uncomfortable over there by seeing that form. Not that out of fear of death or something. He is like Vibhatsarasya, that's what is I told you. He's not a demon who has a fear of the universal form. But he doesn't like that form. because he feels, so how I can worship this, how I can have a relationship with him. And there's no worship, I can't worship the Lord, I can't have a relationship with him. What is the use? That's what it is, because devotee is more concerned on serving the Lord, not enjoying the Lord. He doesn't want to enjoy the opulence of the Lord. He wants to serve the Lord. So, we don't come to we don't come to the Lord to enjoy his opulence. So, and see, the beautiful fragrance is coming. When nobody approaches the altar because, nobody wants to go to the altar because it's very clean and there's AC in a hot summer day. So I will also have a AC, cooling AC over there. The Lord is, that's nonsense. Nobody has like that. But why we want to go? Because we want to serve the Lord. And it's been also been told in anyhow, it's extra information. It's been told, if you don't have a service in the altar, you're not supposed to be in the altar. Not that you just go and stand in the front of the altar all the time. That's not allowed, even our temple. In our temple altar, I'm saying. You can't go and stand over there. Altar में सेवा है तो है, वरना निकलो. है ना? थोड़ा बहुत सेवा करने के बाद थोड़ा बहुत दर्शन लिया. No, you have to stand over there. You have to only stand in the altar if you have some service. So yeah, that's we don't stand. We don't go over there, to enjoy. Now let the people see I'm there in the altar. People have not come to see over you. You move aside. Let the people see the darshan of the Lord. So that's how it is. Uh, so the devotee is more interested in serving the Lord, having a servant relationship with the Lord. So same way, like a servant will be in a master's quarter for service. Like in Prabhupada's quarter, because his disciples would not just go and sit. No, that was not the much thing. That new people did when they came. But Prabhupada's quarter, you they used to go for service. If there's no service, what's the point? Then if you have to take darshan, you take darshan from outside. That's what has been said. So devotee is interested in serving the Lord, not trying to enjoy the opulence of the Lord. Yeah, yes.
Prabhuji, just like the aim of Krishna consciousness is to make relationship with Lord, and specifically the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wishes to enter into the highest rasa with Lord, but means it is their ultimate goal. But Prabhuji, I heard from one devotee, and Prabhupada also says in 10th chapter of Gita that first we have to enter with Lord in the spirit of greatness and understanding greatness, and slowly sweetness will be manifested. But one devotee Prabhuji said one argument to me that if we accept someone as a mother, then how can we later see her as a lover? So what shall I tell him?
First tell him read NOD. First tell him read NOD to Bhakti Shastri of that. Read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu under some teacher. There's a commentary of Jiva Goswami and Prabhupada's NOD. Then you talk about it. Why to talk about for those people who have properly even not been on what किस शास्त्र के बेसिस पे वो बोल रहा है या बोल रहे जो भी हैं
Prabhuji, if you allow,
the
I can
mundane
share.
logic. If you say he is senior, I would say no. This is not which Prabhupada has taught us. Say should be some basis, na. First go and read, पहले, read Madhur Kadambini, read NOD, then talk about it, where it is mentioned like that. Now, why our acharyas gave sadhana process then? Only they would have given straight raganuga process. Now you still have so much attachment to your own body and to the people related to your body. How somebody can talk like that? Still you have a lust. Somebody has a lust in his heart. How he can see the Lord as his lover? He still has love. He has still lust. He has to first rectify that. The bhakti is not sentimental process. Let somebody talk. And at least as a Bhakti Shastri student, you will be very clear with. Right.
Yes, Prabhuji. In chat box, Prabhuji, I have shared something from which he shared from Science of Self-Realization book. Are you able to see, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
And by quoting Prabhupada, he is trying to make it
In unalloyed, okay, I'm reading that. In unalloyed love of God, we have to engage our senses, sarvendriya, all the senses. This means that sex is also to be engaged in Krishna consciousness. The conception of God as a father or a mother does not allow the engagement of one's sex in the service of the Lord because there is no sexual relationship with the father or mother. In the conception of God as a lover, there is sexual engagement. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the most perfect information of our engagement with the Supreme God. In other religious conception of life, God is at most taken as a father or the mother. Many worshippers in India has taken the goddess Kali to be the representation of God. Of course, that is not sanctioned, but the belief is that they also in the Christian religion, the conception of God is as a father. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informs us that that one can even have sexual engagement with the Lord. Yeah, if you want, if you want some Prabhupada's writings is correct. Surely is the most correct thing. Before I answer, I want to hear from other Bhakti Shastras. How will you answer this? It's expected for you to answer it. Yeah,
Prabhuji, may I?
yeah.
Prabhuji, in this context, maybe I don't have that much information, but from what I can understand about the Prabhuji's question, let me rephrase first, then he can say if it's correct or wrong. Prabhuji is asking ki the same figure of object, maybe here considering as Supreme Personality Godhead, where for someone or maybe for a particular devotee or maybe a particular jiva, at initial he's seeing them as maybe a loving father or mother, and then later that devotee maybe or the person who is asking the question, how we can establish relationship with lordship in the madhurya rasa. Is it correct, Prabhuji?
Prabhuji, like that he
But
said, I quoted from 10th chapter of Gita what Prabhupada said, but he was not, I think, but he quoted this. So,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So
So
with court, you all should refute. Bhakti Shastri student is expected to do that. बोलिए कि कोर्ट नहीं आता
Prabhuji.
तो बोलो बट
Yes, Roji. Thank you for allowing. Maybe in this context, first of all, we should understand ki as a person, if he has little bit understanding of the soul, that soul transmigrates and from body to body, the relationship do exchange as well. First thing, in order to understand the concept of relationship and the soul. Second thing that we can make him understand ki the position of supreme personality is very different in the context of normally materially appearing mother and father. And if he's even want to argue about the context of having physical relationship with that person as well, maybe Prabhu, we can understand from this point of view also, maybe even to make the thing simpler ki in this material world having multiple relationship is forbidden, but if we can see in different lokas, in the higher lokas, uh, it is there, bro, it is existed. So the context is not of being sexual relationship or not, the context is to understand it is a form of act, maybe to maybe to express love, and different jiva has different relationship with the supreme personality of lordhead, godhead. So as a jiva, maybe we might not be understanding our eternal position with respect to the lord. So a jiva might be confused as of now, but supreme personality do exist in a very different dimension. So the context to answer this so the context to answer this question maybe ki there is possibility that the jiva might be in dasya bhav or sakhya ras, or then maybe in vatsalya ras too. But I have never seen Prabhu ki obviously in India, as Prabhupada also mentioned the context ki uh, devotees see them as father and mother, which is we have also seen in many abhangas or any other literature also. But in our sambandha, bro, vatsalya ras is given as a parent, but we have never context na, bro, at least in Gaudiya Sampradaya, ki Krishna's mother and father, bro, in this context maybe. the five relationship, what for the five rasas which we express, na, there's dasya, the shantaras, dasyaras, sakhyaras, vatsalyaras, and madhuryaras. So the vatsalyaras is actually not considering Lord as parent, na Prabhuji. It is actually,
I'll show you something.
yes, Prabhuji.
Raji, can we also say that without adhikar, if we try to barge into such things, then we will become
First,
Swargiya?
no, yeah, right. One thing is right. No, all of he's talking about having, how to engage the sexual relationship with the Lord. Nonsense it is. That you have to be pure. First, you have to rise up from the sex platform of this world. You can't have, you can't. First, he's a lustful man. He still needs a woman of this world. And how he can think of to
Raji,
have.
for this, for this, he gave the argument. Just like when we get a higher taste, we automatically will love the lower
Let
taste.
his
When we
argument
will
be
make sexual
anything.
engagement, we'll automatically give sex of this world. Like this, he said.
What?
He said, by getting a higher taste only, we can give up lower taste. So by making sexual engagement with Lord, then only we will get the
You tell
of this
him,
world.
you open your one more noise ISKCON and wrote your own literatures and follow and go to hell. Where the Acharya is writing like that?
Raji is very senior than me. Right.
Let it be, whoever is that. Whoever is that. He, now, even if he is Rasika Acharya people, if in practice he is going to do like this, he will fall down. He may be reading something very hi-fi. It may happen. And he's speaking over there. But his practice is to be like that. If he chants 16 rounds, follow four regulative principles, solve his anarthas, may come out of his anarthas, be steady at a platform, reach a bhava stage, and then the mellows of devotional life will open up to him. Right now, he has to serve the Lord. Now he serves the Lord as a lover, but he still has a love for a woman. How we can say I love Krishna? It's bhakti is not just an emotional sentiment flowing. So, one has to know. Even Mahaprabhu, when he's talking to Ramanand Rai is gradually building up the process. He's not had straight been, and that's how is the Ramanand Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's talk is to show why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking to him, because this is how the progression happens. So, no, yeah. First though, and what about father or mother? First, you have to be a servant. Dasya bhav is there in all other four rasas. Dasya bhav is a predominant is a prominent in all of them. And Dasya bhav changes its flavor in terms of Sakhya, Vatsalya, but all of them are doing what they are serving Krishna only. They are servants. Braj Gopis are also called Dasis of the Lord. So the actual fact is they are servant. The Jiva has to first understand Jivera Swarupo hai Krishna Nityadas and forget about serving the people of this world first. Serving his own senses and mind, give it up. So, no, somebody may be reading hi-fi, and trying to quote. Actually, there are people, I know it. But even if, okay, reading, okay. But if they put like this into their practice, it is not imagination. We can't imagine Krishna to be our lover, and what we'll do if you treat Krishna to be a lover. When little bit of भूख लगता है, जाके कुरकुरे भी खा लेता है, पार्ले जी भी खा लेता है, बिना ऑफर्ड भी खा लेता है। वे प्रो जी क्या करे, ऐसे जगह गए जहाँ पे कोई कुक नहीं है, तो बिना अनियन गार्लिक का जैन फूड भी खा लेता है। वो क्या लवर, क्या खाक है क्या? Lover means how you can, he was only interested in tasting the in tasting the sweet nectar, the sweet nectar of the Lord of lotus lips of the Lord. Where in Jain food, where is the sweet nectar of the lotus lips of the Lord? So talking, people can talk. And by the way, on what basis? This is just a one statement which he is saying about an SSR. But you have to know Prabhupada is talking about unalloyed devotional service. The first line of that itself, what you have quoted, that person is quoting, what Prabhupada is writing, one who is an unalloyed, you know, in unalloyed love of Godhead. First come to that stage of performance of unalloyed love of Godhead. That's why I'm saying Bhakti Shastri is very important. NOD is a very important book. Prabhupada is writing law book to overcome all such kinds of sentimental things only. So once first know what is unalloyed love of Godhead. Just because we have no motive, You hear Jeev Goswami what he says about motive. So this is uh, I agree that while we are doing sadhana, we should have that lalyam, that affection for the Lord. But that affection is to be as his servant. I want to serve the Lord. I am his, he is one develops one's emotion towards the Lord. He emotionally, Prabhupada writes, one has to emotionally serve the Lord. But doesn't mean that he can act like that of a gopi or of a like Yashodamai or something like that. Emotionally means he has to feel the way we have emotion for our father and mother, we should have emotions for. First transfer that. Right. That it is not, जब अपना प्रसाद लेने रहे भोग लगाए तो जल्दी जाना है तो 10 मिनट का भगवान 15 मिनट देना चाहिए तो 5 मिनट में ही उठा लेता है थाली. इमोशंस बहुत दूर है. So we don't deny that we don't have to reach to this platform, but we can't just we just can't just by some imaginative ideas we can't reach over there. And no, about if you treat somebody as father and mother, how I can treat him to be a lover? Who is telling you to treat Krishna to be his father and mother? Prabhupada himself, father and mother conception is that first treat yourself as servant of the Lord. Now, who told that fellow to serve, to not treat Krishna and to father and mother? Uh, First develop the servantship towards the Lord. That servantship will eventually, when you rise above from Nishtha level, the Vishnu Bhava, it will manifest into something, into one of the relationships. It is a very anyhow. Yesterday we had a huge discussion on it. People don't read Prabhupada book. And they make a fuss, and such people will get entangled with some Babajis. The high probability. Because they are looking for something, for which they don't want to endeavor. They want quick. They will, and there are many Babajis who will give him shelter. Yeah, very. So, whole subject matter got changed, but I need to cover up. So over here, Krishna is saying like this, and now next verse. Arjuna Vacha. दृष्टवेदं मानुषं रूपं तव सौम्यं जनार्दन इदानीम् अस्मि संवृत्तः सचेतः प्रकृतिं गतः.
When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, O Janardana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature. Purport. Here the words Manusham Rupam clearly indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be originally two-handed. Those who deride Krishna as if he were an ordinary person are shown here to be ignorant of his divine nature. If Krishna is like an ordinary human being, then how is it possible for him to show the universal form and again to show the 400 Narayan forms? So it is very clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita that one who thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person and who misguides the reader by claiming that it is the impersonal Brahman within Krishna speaking is doing the greatest injustice. Krishna has actually shown his universal form and his four-handed Vishnu form. So how can he be an ordinary human being? A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because he knows that what is what. The original verses of Bhagavad Gita are as clear as the sun. They do not require lamplight from foolish commentators.
Yeah. So over here, so Manusam Rupam means in the two-handed form. Four-handed form is not Manusham Rupam. But although the Pandavas used to associate with the four-handed form of the Lord many times, it is said. But over here, Manusam Rupam is about a two-handed form, which is been said over here. And those are and it's to show that this Krishna can show four-handed and universal form both. So he's not a normal man. Uh, so this is how Krishna. So pure devotee is not confused. Prabhupada is writing very beautifully. Krishna has actually shown his universal form and his four-handed form. So how can he be ordinary human? Pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because he knows what is what. So pure devotee, Prabhupada is a pure devotee. And even you read Bhagavad Gita, actually this is it's very good to understand. A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. But if a normal devotee reads some misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, they may get confused because their Shraddha is still not born up. So that's why actually it's very important for us that we should not get into hearing or reading of something from other sampradayas or from or outside ISKCON because confusion we will get it. Now there are so many examples. Even Prabhupada had stopped even his disciples even going to Gaudiya Math people. What to say about going to some Prabhupada says over there that if they say even one line something different from me and you hear it, your whole things will be damaged. Because why? Because till that time the Shraddha is not so much grown. Shraddha is grown. Like some people will keeps on asking why that sannyasi went to that Babaji and wonder. And sannyasi is going different thing. We going is different thing. So no, one has to be stable. There's a beautiful saying I heard S.B. Keshav Maharaj said, the leaders do questionable things and the followers always keep on asking questions because they don't have faith. So actually, because the majority time people don't see who we are and who they are. That's also thing. So anyhow, a pure devotee is not confused. But any other devotee of other caliber, if they try to do that, there's a high probability they will get confused. So that's how, and then Krishna moves ahead and says, now Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. I want to finish off this chapter today. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sudurdarsham Sudurdarsham idam rupam Drishtvan asiyan mama Devapi asya rupasya nityam darshana kankshinaha.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. Purport. In the 48th verse of this chapter, Lord Krishna concluded revealing his universal form and informed Arjuna that this form is not possible to be seen by so many pious activities, sacrifices, etc. Now here the word Sudarshanam is used, indicating that Krishna Sudurdarshanam is used, indicating that Krishna's two-handed form is still more confidential. One may be able to see the universal form of Krishna by adding a little tinge of devotional service to various activities like penances, Vedic study, and philosophical speculation. It may be possible, but without a tinge of bhakti, one cannot see that has already been explained. Still, beyond that universal form, the form of Krishna with two hands is still more difficult to see, even for demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. They desire to see him, and we have evidence in Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother, Devaki, all the demigods from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna, and they offered nice prayers to the Lord. Although he was not at that time visible to them, they waited to see him. A foolish person may deride him, thinking him an ordinary person, and may offer respect not to him but to the impersonal something within him. But these are all nonsensical postures. Krishna, in his two-armed form, is actually desired to be seen by demigods like Brahma and Shiva. In Bhagavad Gita
Wait.
9.11,
Bro, wait. Because we have less time, we want to finish it off. I'll just summarize it. It's a huge purpose proper rights. So over here, it's very clearly has been said that this form you're seeing is very difficult to understand. See, so Doordarshan. Uh, so Doordarshan आपने सुना है वो चैनल ये है सुदूरदर्शन और वो था 400 the universal form was दूरदर्शन but it's Sudurdarshan. It's very difficult. So, difficult and proper writes very clearly that with penance and austerity, if you add bit of devotion, you can see the universal form. If you add much more devotion, to that, you can see the 400 form. But to come to see this form, you have to be a great lover of the Lord. Then only you can see. Then only you can have relationship with the Lord, the 200 form. Yeah. So, a foolish person may deride in the ordinary is not proper. Avajanante Mamura, proper writes about and then proper writes about it. For whom? For some who make a study of Krishna by reading over the similar Vedic scripture, Krishna is a problem. For one using a material process, Krishna is considered to be the greatest historical personality and a very learned philosopher. But he's an ordinary man, even though he was so powerful, he has to. That's what they come to understand. Ultimately, they think that absolute truth is impersonal. Therefore, they think that his impersonal feature to be impersonal, and he assumed a personal feature. So this material calculation of Supreme Lord. Another calculation is speculative. There's those who are in search of knowledge who speculate on Krishna and consider him to be less important than the universal form of Supreme. So there are people, who treat impersonal to be great, and there are people who consider that the universal form of the Lord is greater than his personal form of 200 form. These are foolish people. Prabhupada said that's not truth. The transcendental process is chapter 4. What is the process of understanding Krishna? Prabhupada is not saying imaginative some ideas will help us. No, Prabhupada is writing the transcendental process is described in Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 4. To hear about Krishna from authority. That is the actual Vedic process. And those who are actually in a Vedic line hear about Krishna from authority. And by repeated hearing about him, Krishna becomes dear. So this is the process. Process, not some imaginative process. As we have several times discussed, Krishna is always yoga tendency. He is not seen revealed by anyone. Only one to whom he reveals himself he can be seen. Not by just imaginative, Karna Darukadish Prabhu, I'm just also putting, your over here. Not just by imaginative, you can tell that devotee, not just by imaginative thinking, you can actually enter into relationship with Krishna. Krishna has to reveal himself. And that will happen if we probably the Vedic processes repeated hearing from authority. The result is by continuation of the devotional lies against Krishna revelation. Such revelation is not possible even for a demigod. Therefore, it's difficult for a demigod to understand Krishna. An advanced devotee are always focused on this to Then Krishna says over here, Nam Vedna tapasena chejaya sakya evam vido drashtum asi yatha. Read one of you too. Quick.
The form
Translation.
you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as me. Purport: Krishna first appeared before his parents Devaki and Vasudev in a 400 form, and then he transformed himself into 200 form. This mystery is very difficult to understand for those who are atheists or who are devoid of devotional service. For
Wait,
scholars who have
wait.
simply
So, wait. This line, this mystery is very difficult to understand. What mystery, sir? The mystery that, what mystery? Anybody say? What is the mystery which Prabhupada is talking about?
That Krishna has 200 form, Prabhuji.
The
And he is the
Krishna
source
first
of
appeared, his
400
paper
form.
is 400. Then he's turned to 200. This mystery is very difficult to understand. That Krishna is the source, is a fountainhead of all other forms. This mystery is not so, this is a mystery. And this mystery to be revealed, you have to hear Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. You reread 1 to 18. This Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya verse proper writes, this mystery is resolved by hearing, repeated hearing, not by imagination. This mystery is very difficult to understand for those who are atheists or devoid of devotional service. What to say about these people? So Krishna is no, they make the visit. Prabhupada is writing very amazing. Nor he is to be understood by a person who officially go to temple to offer worship. They make their visit, but they cannot understand Krishna as he is. Krishna can be understood only through the path of devotional service as explained by Krishna himself in next verse. And please know it. This is a verse that you have to follow if you wish to know Krishna. When you know Krishna, then you will develop relationship with Krishna. There's a 54th verse. Bhaktya tvananya sakya aham evam vido arjuna Gyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa.
My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I understood as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into mysteries of my understanding.
Very clear. My undivided devotional service. है ना? First, make your devotional service ahead ki apratihata, you know, and it's undivided, it's unbreakable. Ahead ki apratihata. Bhaktya to ananya sakya. Without being mixed with fruitive activities or specular jnana karma dhyana. Make that, then you can see me, you know, and you can understand the mysteries of, you can enter into mysteries of my understanding. So Prabhupada writes a very useful report to it. Um, only, I summarize this report over here that, here that how expertise, you have to know what is a proper way of performance of devotional service, and then say something very important. There are many rules. Now we have to follow the rules. Which rules? There are many rules and regulations. If one at all wants to understand Krishna, not imagination, he must follow the regulatory principle described in authoritative literatures. Which principles Prabhupada is writing? One can perform penance in accordance with those principles. Which penances he has to perform, sir? Janmashtami, Ekadashis. He should follow it. First. Then charity, he has to give charity. As far as charity is concerned, it is plain that charity should be given to devotees of Krishna who are engaged in devotional service to spread Krishna philosophy or Krishna consciousness throughout the world for preaching work. Give charity for that. Krishna consciousness is a benediction to humanity. So Lord Chaitanya was appreciated. So if one gives some amount of his money to a person involved in distributing Krishna consciousness, that charity given to spread Krishna is greatest charity. So if he does all these, then what Prabhupada says for the beginner in devotional service, the temple worship is, and he does deity worship. And deity worship is Panchratri ki vidhi. So he has to follow sadhana. So if he does this, means he does Ekadashi Vrata, Janmashtami, and all this, does very nicely. He gives charity for spreading Krishna consciousness. He, then he worships the deity, follows, 16 round and all those are anyhow. Yesterday, and then what? How are you supposed to do all this? Yesterday, para bhakti ratha deva ratha guru. That's mental speculations. One cannot understand Krishna by mental speculation. Or one has to take training under a bona fide spiritual master. It is impossible even to begin to understand Krishna without it. The word two is specifically used to indicate that no other process can be used, can be recommended, or can be successful in understanding Krishna apart from this. Personal form of Krishna 200, 400 are described as Sudurdarshan. Very difficult. They are completely different from the temporary universal form. The 400 form and 200 form are eternal and transcendental, whereas the universal form is temporary. So Prabhupada then he speaks about, and then Prabhupada goes ahead about speaking here. From this onwards, he is speaking how the 200 form is greater than the 400 form. And so Prabhupada writes, where Krishna changes the universal form to the 400 form of Narayan, and then to his own natural form of 200. This indicates that 400 form and other forms mentioned in the literature emanates from the original 200 Krishna. He is the origin. And then he says about this, Yasek Nisavasiti Kala Vathalam Vajivan Tilo Vidaja Jagaran Vishnu Mahan Yas Kala Vishesho. So therefore he is a Kala, Vishnu and all the root is a Kala Vishesho, Govindamani Purusham. Therefore one should worship all that he says. And then he is quoting one of the many verses over here. In Vishnu Puran, it is said, Yatra Avartina Krishna Khyam Param Brahma Nara Kriti. The Supreme Absolute is a person, his name is Krishna, and he sometimes descends on this earth. So he is quoting various verses, Eta Chakra Matta Parakaram, and all as he quotes over here. And then that's how Prabhupada writes the commentary final. The universal form is not attractive for pure devotees who are in love with the Lord in a different transcendental relationship. The Supreme Godhead exchanges transcendental love in his original form of Krishna. Therefore, to Arjuna, who is so intimately related with Krishna in his friendship, this form of the universe was not pleasing, rather it was fearful. Arjuna was a constant companion of Krishna's, must have or had transcendental life. He was not an ordinary man. Therefore, he was not captivated by universal form. This form may seem wonderful to persons who are involved in elevating themselves by fruitive activities. But to persons who engage in devotional service, this 200 form is most real. And then, we already time is up. The last, the last one, uh, no, last one, what is this? What you have been quoting over here? The money is given charity to suitable guaranteed. If there's a charity, I would be given to private. Money is given by certain. Proper rights about charity in this purpose.
Yes, Puji, if one gives charity to pure devotee multiple unlimited time, you are
Yeah,
telling
Prabhupada
about
is very clear. Yeah. Okay, in that way. One, Prabhupada very clearly says about charity for spreading Krishna consciousness is the best form of charity. Yeah, that's what the work is of pure devotees. So last verse, we'll take it next time, Prabhu. It's already time. The last verse is a huge purport because Prabhupada यहाँ पे तो भगवान ने बोला है अनअलॉयड डिवोशनल सर्विस करना पड़ेगा तो मेरे को समझ में आएगा और और आगे लेख लास्ट वर्स में तो पूरा प्रोसेस ही बोल दिया है मत कर्म क्या करना चाहिए वहां पे आप पढ़ेंगे प्रॉपर क्या क्या लिखे इसलिए मैं छोड़ रहा हूँ बीए वर्स Next week we'll begin from here. Mat karma krit mat paramo mat bhakta sanga varjitah nirvaira sarva bhuteshu यह स मामित पांडव. अरे वही समझेगा मेरे को. He has to perform pure devotional service, free from contamination of fruitive jnana karma se upar. He works for me only, who makes me a supreme goal of his life and is friendly to every living being. He certainly comes to me. All the other fellows was not going to come. Okay, so we end over here. Thank you very much. Next week we'll meet. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.